So I've been doing a lot of thinking lately, and I realized I don't really have many hobbies. Well, at least not anymore. When I was a child, there were so many things that just excited me, and an hour felt like an eternity. Like I could do so many things in an hour and just feel so fulfilled. But I realized as I got older, it just feels like there's never enough time to do anything. And the next thing I know, the day is already over, and all I did for that day was work and then unwind from work. So I thought it would be really fun for this video to rediscover the things that I used to really like doing for pure joy. I always feel a little bit guilty when I'm doing something that feels like there's no purpose. But in reality, the purpose should be to just be happy and to live life. I feel like we're always feeling so pressured to be hyper productive, always doing something productive with our time. But we definitely need to balance that with just enjoying the things that our child selves would really enjoy. Today, let's find the hobbies that are lost but not forgotten. I'm going to be bringing you along as I rediscover 3 hobbies. 1. Coloring. 2. Gaming. And 3. Baking. As a child, coloring was such a great way to relax and express your creativity. You could spend hours coloring in your favorite books or creating your own masterpieces. But as an adult, it can be really difficult to find the time or the energy to color. You might feel like you're even too old for it, or you just don't have any artistic talent. But the truth is, coloring can be for anyone. It's really a great way to de-stress and boost your creativity. Some reasons why you might have a hard time unwinding and being present with coloring could be that you feel like you have to be perfect. When we were children, we didn't really care if our coloring was perfect. We just enjoyed the process. But as an adult, we feel like we have to create a work of art every time we color, and this can lead to hyper-perfectionism and stress. So we just spent like 20 minutes coloring, and already I feel very antsy. I definitely think that because I'm always like getting dopamine from social media and all those things, doing a very deliberate activity like coloring is very mentally challenging. I think it really puts you in a frame of mind where you need to really slow down your thinking and just focus at the task at hand. But it's definitely something that I want to incorporate in my life again. I think it would be a really nice way to unwind and just put work aside. And I think it would be a great way for my sister and I to continue bonding, because when we were little girls, we used to color together all the time after we finished our homework. So it's very nostalgic to that time of our life where life was just simpler. So I would say out of all the hobbies when I was a kid, gaming was probably my biggest one. I remember pretty much during my free time, I would always just look forward to playing games. You know, every Saturday morning, that feeling where the house is quiet, I would sneak downstairs and I would be able to play for hours and just not get bored of it. As I grew older, I definitely noticed that my tolerance for games has gone down quite a lot. So it's just kind of interesting. It's like, how come I'm not as into games anymore? These days, I'm definitely more of a social gamer. I noticed that I don't really like playing games that take me into my own bubble and I'm isolated from the world and from everyone. So I always like to share my gaming experiences with friends. So that's why I'm really excited to try out Discord's new feature. Discord has partnered with Xbox to allow you to stream directly from your Xbox to Discord. So this is great if you love playing single player games, but you still want to share that experience with your friend or go through it together. So for me personally, I love watching other people play games. Maybe it's because when I was young, I always watched my dad play video games. It's like we were playing together, but he was the one driving the ship and I was just on it. So yeah, now I'm going to play a game and stream with my friends on Discord. If you're interested in Discord's new feature with Xbox, be sure to check out the link in my description. Thank you so much, Discord, for sponsoring this part of the video. Gaming was such a popular hobby for me as a child. It was a great way to escape from reality and have some fun. But now that I'm an adult, it can definitely be hard to find the time to game. I think a lot of people might also feel like they're too old for it, or they just don't have the time. But the truth is, gaming is really a great way to relax, de-stress, and escape from reality for a bit. As an adult, you might feel guilty when you're trying to play games. But when we were kids, we didn't really feel guilty. We just felt like we were having the time of our lives. As adults, we have a ton of responsibilities, and it can be really hard to find time to relax and do something for ourselves. But even if you only spare 30 minutes a week, gaming can be a really great way to de-stress and unwind. So I don't really like following recipes. Whenever I'm cooking, I always feel like I need to wing it and just experiment on my own. Whenever I'm baking, that's like extra difficult. But when I was younger, I used to get so excited when, you know, I had my toy Easy Bake Oven, or when I watched my mom bake cookies. It was just a lot of fun. But now that I'm an adult, I don't really bake or cook as much as I would like to. We always joke that Tristan does all the cooking and I do all of the eating. What we're gonna be baking today are matcha brownies. So we're going to be baking them today and sharing them with you guys. Except you won't be able to eat these with us, but I hope you can find some enjoyment in baking if it's something that's difficult for you, and follow our recipe.
All right, let's get started. So step 1 is browning the butter.
Sounds hard.
That's just step 1.
Baking was such a popular hobby for many children, including myself. It's such a great way to be creative and make something delicious. But as an adult, it can be really hard to find the time to bake. You might feel like you don't really have the skills, or you're afraid of making mistakes. But the truth is, baking can be a really great way to relax, and it's also a great way to show your loved ones how much you care. If you're trying to bake as an adult, don't be afraid of making mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes when they're baking. Just remember, this is just part of the learning process. As an adult, you might also feel like you don't have the time. Baking can be really time consuming. I mean, you have to mix the ingredients, bake the goods, and clean up after. But even if you only spare an hour or two, baking is such a great way to relax and de-stress. Ooh.
Wow. That looks good. You should get a shot of that.
Mmm.
It's good.
Yeah, it's not too sweet. You guys should definitely try out this recipe. So today I spent some time doing the hobbies that I really enjoyed as a child: coloring, gaming, and baking. But yeah, I kind of found it difficult to sit down and do a very repetitive task. Not sure why. It's probably because of just the pressures of life, so I just feel like I don't really have time to sit down and unwind and do something nice for myself like bake brownies. But that's definitely something I want to change. Although these different hobbies were a little bit challenging at first, when I got in the groove and I just learned to let go, I started to really enjoy them and feel my child self again. So although it does take a little bit of effort to overcome that hump, where you could feel a little bit daunted to do certain things, I think that once you get over that, things will get a lot better, and then it'll just be smooth sailing from there. So I hope you enjoyed following me along today as I rediscover some hobbies, and I hope that you learned something about yourself too. Please let me know in the comments, what are some hobbies that you may have lost through your journey in life, and I hope that together we'll start to live more in the present. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.